say I'm all that you need. You've got a trick up your sleeve. You just keep rolling on and on, and keep on singing the same old song. But I know where you really belong. Give it up wherever you roam. Give it up, you're never alone. Give it up wherever you roam. Give it up, you're already home. You say you want to believe. You never get on your knees, no. You just keep rolling on and on, and keep on singing the same old song. But I know where you really belong. Give it up wherever you roam. Give it up, you're never alone. Give it up wherever you roam. Give it up, you're already home.
You have one new voicemail.
Hey, I've been trying to reach you. I know it's been ages. I'm not really sure how we lost touch. So, how's things? How's the family? I can't believe Franny is almost 2. How on earth has that happened? I love that video of her you posted the other day. She looks so grown up. How's her big brother and sister getting on at school? It's a huge thing to deal with, isn't it? And all the pre-Christmas madness. I mean, I love this time of year, but it's a lot, isn't it? There's just so much to deal with, right? I wouldn't say this to them, but I'm always a bit glad when it's over. How's work? Everything's pretty loud at this time of year, isn't it? My phone doesn't exactly help either. Everything just ends up feeling like it's happening all at once. But then, underneath all that rushing about, if I really think about what I'm feeling, I think I'm just a bit lonely. Feels weird to say it out loud. It's like I'm here, but I'm not. And lots of that just lives in my head all the time, making me anxious. I can't turn down the noise. Maybe I'm just a bit broken. I think everyone feels a bit lost sometimes, don't they? I know I do. Like, there must be more to life than this. And sometimes I think, if I could just hush all the noise, maybe I could find out what it is. Put my phone down a bit more would be a good start. Being present with my kids, you know, really there. So I can actually hear what I'm really thinking, really feeling. sometimes all that small stuff is actually the big stuff. I think there has to be something more to life. And I want to find out what it is. Hey, I've been trying to reach you.
Evening, everyone. Bit impromptu. Hope you're all okay. How has your Monday been? Just a chance to check in, just for some information. Just following up on some posts on the Metal Methodist Facebook page and in the Metal Methodists plural Facebook group. Thought it'd be good just to catch up. So, how's your Monday been? However it is, we are together. So let's gather. As moon rises, the sun slips sight. Begins the ritual of this night. For those convinced their path is right. Gathered from north, south, east and west, yet called at another's behest. Those treading the path that is left. From near and far, come as you are to this place and embrace this space as darker hue embraces you. Of water, spirit, earth and fire, confessing the sins of empire, we come with our wounds and desire. Sensing that we are not alone, drawn to the flame that guides us home, for here, you, me, and yet to be. Importance and signs of these times, for the sake of all those maligned, is yet the home of the divine. So, first off, how's it going? How's it been since we last did this? How's it been today? There's things from today that have been good. You want to be thankful for that in true Viking metal style. You want to say Tusentak for 1,000 thank yous in Norse, for it is more Viking, therefore inherently more metal. Good to share those in comments or to reflect on those wherever we are. What are you thankful for? What's giving you hope, joy today?
too shall we be downcast too. Or stand shield to shield, together in the field. We refuse to yield. Steadfastly holding the line, full of wings in eternity's time. We keep pressing forward until the last, and our crash shall be forever. Choose attack.
So, yeah, I think we've come back from tonight being part of, sharing with local Boys Brigade and their nativity. So it's good to, kind of using the Hush the Noise stuff from the Methodist Church, just talk about the noise around Christmas. And the Boys Brigade nationally have done a good video going through some of the misnomers that might have grown up over time about the first of many Brussels sprouts, the king of vegetables, being born in a manger 2,000 years ago, or maybe it was a reindeer who was special because he got a red nose. But just unpicking the story, and it was good to share it with lots of young people who were taking part, and good to be with their family and different generations of family all being together. So yeah, kind of like Christmas starts here. So that was good. So I hope from this day you have something that has made you say, choose some tack. But maybe also there's been some not good stuff today. Maybe stuff that has been difficult and unexpected. Maybe stuff that you knew was going to be difficult and it lived up to form. Maybe bad news. Maybe, kind of straining relationships, or stuff that just feels a bit heavy and not in a good metal way. A chance to acknowledge that. Then about you, I find those things sometimes helpful just to acknowledge or write down, and then at least it's out there and not in me buzzing around, and so to offer that to each other and in the presence of each other, but also in the presence, and acknowledge it in the presence of the divine, the other, the metaphysical, whatever term best describes for you a sense of something more than us, and more than the sometimes horrendous stuff we can do as human beings, but that gives us hope for ourselves, for creation, to acknowledge that in front of that force, whatever we might describe it as. Again, if people want to share, please do leave a comment, whether on YouTube or Twitter, or not Twitter, YouTube or Facebook. That's where this is. Yes. Just remember again, this is a public stream, so please only share information that is yours to share, and be aware that obviously the people will see it as well. So it's okay just to be very vague if you want to write a comment or use a different name, whatever. Disclaimer done. But yeah, stuff that you want to acknowledge that feels heavy, just a chance to reflect on that, and then we'll sharing some words together just acknowledges the laying down of those things, maybe just for tonight, if it's stuff we're going to deal with again tomorrow, but just to be able to rest from them a bit at the very least. what is it this day that you want to lay down? Maybe it's stuff in your own head. Maybe it's the words or actions of others. Maybe it's your own words or actions, and that sense of regret or guilt or whatever. Just a chance to acknowledge that, to repent, which kind of turn around, I guess, and kind of commit to what we can to be better, but also to accept, an invitation to accept that we don't have to do it in our own strength or power. Actually, that I would use the word God, but the universal force of love, the divine, the other, that which is beyond ourselves, and that thing that connects spiritually, whether you believe in God or not, that thing that makes us who we are. The thing that moves you, when you listen to music, when you look at art, whatever it is, or look at maths and go, wow, that's amazing. That thing, what I would term as spirituality. The thing that thing within us and that connects us, I believe, allows us to perhaps not have to shoulder it all on our own. So to acknowledge that and to lay some of that stuff down. So we can do that in these words, which you're welcome to join in with if it's helpful to do so wherever you are. And whether you believe, if these are helpful, then please do.
The principalities and will to power, the worms from within my own darkest hour. I confess all the regrets and the regrets, the burdens and fears, the lament and the tears. I lay them down.
And I believe that as we do that, then God in Christ, and this about being in Blood Brigade nativity, that's one of the words used for Jesus at Christmas time in the Christmas story is Emmanuel, which isn't Yorkshire for Emmanuel, but it means God with us, God one of us, but that'd be Joan Osborne song. And so God in Christ, who has lived our human experience, joys and tears, hopes and fears, comes running out to meet us and says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, even if you don't like Iron Maiden, but why wouldn't you? And I will give you rest." So may that sense of rest from whatever it is be yours tonight, and may a sense of peace about that thing you've acknowledged and are now journeying on from, that sense of desire to be better, and a sense of knowing you don't have to do that on your own, that we support each other in that. And if you choose to believe, then the universal force of love that came into this world at Christmas is absolutely enabling you and rooting for you and cheering you on, like the headline act at Wacken. Thank you, Kate. What have I done? Gaff tape. I'm sorry. And now reading from the Bible, what is metal? The metal Bible, so metal it is made of, as they say in France, papier. When I find where I put it, there it is. So I'm going to share a screen. I've not done this before in StreamYard. Let's have a go. Oh man, there's no way you're going to read that. If you have a metal Bible, it's Matthew chapter 1, verses 1 to 17. If you have a Bible app on your phone, if you want to Google Bible or type in Matthew 1, chapter 1, 1 to 17, or Matthew 1, colon 1, hyphen 17, you'll find this thing. Now I'm sharing it. That's probably not very useful, but basically it's the start of Matthew's gospel, or good news, his way of, or the person attributed to writing this gospel's way of sharing the good news, the gospel, about Jesus, And so it kind of gives you this whole thing. Starting, it's basically a proposed genealogy. It's like ancestry.com of Jesus, kind of tracing it back to how Jesus was of the house, the line of King David, who was seen to be a really kind of key golden age kind of monarch of Israel, but also then back to Abraham, being the person from whom God promised to people who were unable to have children together, and God promises that they will have descendants. And the thing is that Matthew uses this to show that Jesus kind of fulfills the expectation of what God's chosen anointed one would be, linked to Abraham and the house of David. And it goes to all of these things, Zadok the priest, all the rest of it, all these different key figures throughout the entire history of Judah and Israel, off into the occupation and deportation to Babylon, right down. So 14 how many generations? Many generations to Jesus. So it's kind of showing that Jesus ticks the box, fulfills this expectation of one that God would send to kind of save people. And we could talk about the fact that actually then part of the reason that Jesus ends up being rejected, arrested, crucified is because it didn't fit the box of what people wanted. They wanted this person who had this sense of mission that was going to be very political and potentially quite violent, and he was a bit of a nuisance, really, because he didn't quite live up to that expectation, but kept saying things that painted those who were kind of religiously in charge and culturally within Jewish communities in charge in not a very good light, and so it was easy to kind of do away with him. I guess I would say, from a Christian perspective, that actually, Jesus came to show a better way in terms of a way of peace and justice. Another name for Jesus, not just Emmanuel, God with us, but also Prince of Peace, Wonderful Counselor. So yeah, that actually it isn't about kind of war and power and all those things that might be very worldly, and we just need to look at the news, to look at all the ways in which human will to power just gets us in all sorts of problems. That maybe Jesus was showing a different way, not about kind of being kind of a doormat, but actually much more in the line of, say, civil rights movement and peaceful resistance, a sort of quiet revolution, meek, mild, as if. One of my favorite quotes for this time of year. But the reason for saying all of that is just, so that's kind of, as we celebrate and move towards Christmas, that there's Matthew saying this is who Jesus is, that is kind of what people were looking for, but perhaps didn't quite fulfill people's expectations. So I don't know if you've got any responses to any of that tonight. I don't know if you are a person of the Christian faith, or maybe the number of people I speak to who say, I'm not religious, I'm not a Christian, or I say I might count myself as a Christian because I was baptized, but I don't go to church, but I try and live a good life in whatever way that makes sense for you. And I get this Jesus person, I don't get all the church stuff. So I guess, who is Jesus to you? If you're kind of dipping your toe in the water and trying to, then I do recommend metalbibleinternational.com, getting a copy of the Metal Bible. Just kind of reading perhaps Mark's Gospel online. It's like the action film of Gospels. It's really, really short, really quick, and so what do you make of Jesus? Is Jesus what people were expecting? Is Jesus what you expected as you kind of read about him, as you speak to people about him? it's Jesus that we encounter or think we know through the way it's been portrayed in media, the way the church has talked about it. Has that been something that's put you off? Has that been something that's been appealing? And who might the actual Jesus be behind all of that? That I guess certainly I and others are trying to follow. And I guess the reason for this Metal Methodist thing, which I think I've said before, originally began as a way of leaning into and borrowing from, at the time during COVID, some of the monastic rhythm and discipline of connecting with yourself and with something beyond yourself that I would term as God, the divine, the other, and with other people as well, in a as regular pattern as possible, often using the same words, so that it becomes a kind of a way of living, a rule for life, a kind of monastic thing. I'm trying to create, therefore, with, I suppose, the Metal Methodist thing, a community of people for whom this expression might be helpful. It might not be to everybody. As we, I guess, try and do exactly what Matthew does in that beginning first 17 verses of that first chapter of the gospel, try and kind of explain and make sense of who Jesus is. And as we do that, and as we share some of the conversations we have, perhaps certainly I have, kind of seen something different, noticed something different that somebody else has shared that's helped me have a different, broader, deeper understanding of who Jesus might be, and what that means for me if I want to kind of follow that example and that commandment to love people as Jesus loves us, which was to give his life for us. You don't come at more cost or serious than that, does it? Or what does that mean today? So I think just the reason for this community, trying to create this community, is that chance to be together, and hopefully, if this is something that is helpful, then it is a place from which we can connect together, share together, and within that rhythm, also then kind of go about our daily lives. We might be involved in other churches, we might be involved in other types of work related to the church or mission or beyond it, or Greg's, whatever, wherever we work, trying to live some of that out, but also meet together and kind of go, blimey, that was awesome today, or blimey, that was really tough today, and to share some of that and to hopefully kind of learn and grow and reflect together. As part of that, I guess it's trying to share information or resources wherever possible, and the idea of just what it means to be a follower of the original long-haired dude from Nazareth, bearded dude from Nazareth, was a post I think I shared just before coming on, that I will screen share now, when I work out how to do it again, so bear with me. Is this post from Holy Blood, which is a Ukrainian death black metal band. So I just want to share this. Where is it? There, that one. Yeah. So this is a post from Holy Blood. There's basically the one-man musical machine, based in Ukraine. So happy birthday, turns 50 today. Writes and says, I celebrate my birthday during the war. This is the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Every day, Russian occupiers kill Ukrainian people, women and children, old people. They destroy Ukrainian cities and villages, but Ukraine continues to fight and seek to destroy hellish evil. Please pray for its friends. And again, I don't know if you're a person who prays, but I guess praying for peace. And yet, despite all of that, he's been posting Bible studies. He's recording a new album. If you want to have a look at that post, there is a way of supporting them. and I'm sure it's Fedor or Fedor, so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Somebody who is in their own way absolutely kind of counting the cost of what it means for him to be a follower of Jesus, I guess, in an incredibly grim situation. If you're a person who prays, then praying for peace, I guess, and maybe it is continuing to put pressure on whatever we believe in terms of governments to work together for peaceful solutions, but also just solutions. And supporting creative people wherever they are would be good. That would be so you can support that work and that ministry, and I guess it's again linked to the Ministry of Metal Methodist trying to offer a space in which perhaps people within Methodism who like rock or metal or alternative stuff and perhaps haven't always felt as welcome as they could have been, as we could have been. There's an element of, I guess, preaching to the converted, and it's kind of educating and saying actually perhaps God is in this music as well. Perhaps God is absolutely in this music as well. God is in in you, whether you want to glam it up, goth it up, plaid shirt it up, whatever, come as you are. You are a custodian of God. You carry the divine within you, but maybe there are places and spaces, including online, that potentially are safer for some people than going to physical gatherings. A place where you can potentially not necessarily have to use your real name or be on camera or meet people face to face. So I guess, trying to offer space for that, I guess, is what this is trying to do. And if it's helpful, it's awesome to have you as part of it. So you will have noticed as well that we have launched some t-shirts. I know people were asking. So again, just to explain not how this works. I don't know if it does work, but this began with me doing something during lockdown, and people joined in with it, and then more people joined in with it, and it seems to have connected some people. It seems to have helped some people who have perhaps recently come to faith to kind of be able to see a space for their music that they love and elements of their lifestyle, that actually there is that space within faith for that. But also people who have been to church and are active in their local churches, but perhaps that's where they serve rather than where they are fed spiritually. So a resource for those people, and hopefully a place where we can talk about and perhaps going back to Matthew's gospel, talk about who Jesus is, but perhaps in a way that isn't what we expected or what we have been led to believe or have grown up believing because of the way in which faith, Jesus, has been presented, and that may have kind of put us off. Or we've been to a church and not had a great experience, and maybe this is a safer way to be involved as well. So what am I waffling on about? So linked to that, so basically it's me doing what I can do. So for those who don't know, I'm a Methodist minister, presbyter. So I have other churches as well. So this is limited to do what I can what I can do alongside other things. And we're fortunate to receive some funding in the last few months, which has enabled us to employ somebody else for a limited number of hours each week to help kind of monitor and speak to people and engagement online, and to develop some of that stuff. or go beyond, me being weird in my office every now and then, to something else. So, but that funding is time limited, and it's given on the proviso that we seek to become self-funding. And so part of that is, you'll have seen the Road Crew Kate put a link to some merch. People were asking for merch, and so the merch is available via a third party called streetshirts.co.uk. And yeah, so we've tried to price them. They are similarly priced to other Christian metal type bands and clothing available in the UK. Again, it's about covering the cost of producing them, trying to use the funding we've got wisely, so not carrying loads and loads of stock that we can't shift or get rid of. So it's basically print to order. Also, hopefully that's better for the environment as well, so it's not stuff being wasted. And yeah, and some of that cost of the t-shirt helps towards us seeking to be self-sustaining, or being able to carry on at such point that the current funding we have runs out at the end of the financial year. And there are other things we've got in training discussion to try and provide resources to people, and yeah, some sort of regular giving thing, trying to create a community that people might be willing to support, that then allows us to do more streams, to help create the human time and resource to do that, and carve that out alongside everything else, but also equipment and things. That means that if you are somewhere else and want to do a metal event, we've been to Retford and Free Generate and Bristol and elsewhere, that we have something we can come and offer or work with you on. So it's trying to enable this to become self-funding. It's not about paying. It's not about making money, and that the money is then looked after within the Methodist Church, not in anyone's back pocket. So it's about kind of anything we are seeking to recruit back. It's about kind of a net zero thing. So those t-shirts are available. I know people have had a few issues with links, so I'm just going to try and do a demonstration now. So let me just add this to the screen again. There we go. So we just move up from Holy Blood. No. Oh, that's awesome. No. Live scrolling. Oh, there we are. If you click on the link here, for whatever reason, it takes you through to a page that will look like this. No, you can't see that, can you? So let me just come out of there. Let's stop that. Let us share. So don't share a tab. I need to share an entire screen. So yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is on Facebook, Metal Methodist, facebook.com Metal Methodist. You see that Kate's posted the link to the t-shirt. If you click on that, it takes you through to here, and it goes, oops, invalid link and no promotion found. So what we are encouraging you to do is, if you highlight that there with your cursor or finger, if you're on a tablet or mobile device, and then if you highlight that link, copy it, and then go to a new browser or a new tab, or into an address bar. And then if you paste it into that and press return, search, go, it will open up this here. That will take you straight there, and you can order it. It's £22.50. And for example, if you order today, it will be shipped latest at the 18th. Again, we've tried to reflect the price that is comparative to other kind of Christian merch and band merch, and to allow some of that money not just to cover the cost of the t-shirt and the postage, but also to help begin to build up funds towards being self-sustaining, so that we can not just do streams like this, but actually develop more, so we can come and perhaps work with you on events and have stuff we can bring that can enable you to do stuff as well in your locality. So it's a way of showing support, if that's helpful, but also maybe it's a conversation starter. It's a it's the way, like, you turn up at anybody else do it. You go out somewhere that's not related to metal, you see somebody else wearing Ghost t-shirt and sort of all right, nice shirt, you imagine, oh, a Metal Methodist t-shirt, oh, that's it's the way of connecting. See one at a gig when you're watching Iron Maiden with a new drummer next year. So it is not a get rich quick scheme by any means, but just a way of that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Kate. Metal Methodists can identify each other out in the wild. And maybe it's a way of starting conversation. What's that then? What's a Methodist? What does that mean? What's a Metal Methodist then? So it's potentially an evangelistic tool or conversation starter as well. So apologies, we just do not understand what Facebook is doing to that thing, unless it's just trying to safeguard people with click on this link and we'll take all your personal information and sell it and corrupt your computer. I suspect that may be what's happening with some sort of algorithmic thing that's doing that. But you can highlight it, copy it, open a new web browser or web tab on your phone or tablet, paste it into there, and it should work. Again, if you have issues, I know one person's having issues, that we are I think Kate's getting in touch just to try and get you the link in a way that will work without going through Facebook. So anyway, so that was kind of the point of tonight, I guess, just to hopefully just kind of say that this is okay, I've been kind of doing this since coming of the first lockdown, and it's been me alongside my other presbyteral responsibilities, usually in this office, writing stuff, creating it. And yes, there is a whole load more metal stuff and all sorts of stuff that I'd want to play and want to do, but just for copyright reasons cannot. Yes, there's various different platforms and use of Zoom and different ways of bringing together people we tried, but also recognizing for some people it's really hard for their own safety to use some of those, or to feel safe to use some of those. We are trying and developing through this funding. We have increased our capacity to develop stuff, and the more we're able to increase that capacity, t-shirts are one way of doing that, as well as identifying each other and promoting things and starting conversations, not just about Metal Methodists, but about faith and music. Then it's kind of building up slowly. So I think that's probably it. Yes. So if you any issues with the link, if you want to throw your computer out the window with it, before you do that, please email Kate, the road crew. So Kate, metalmethodist@outlook.com, and you'll get the link direct. Okay. So I think that's probably all I wanted to say, because it's getting quite late. So I hope that is helpful. So it's a bit more waffly and rambly than normal. But thinking of trying to create community around music and faith and alternative music, alternative lifestyle and faith, the sense of supporting each other, a place where people can ask questions, hopefully, from within their own kind of subculture or whatever, whether it's Holy Blood trying to create music within the context of Russian invasion and occupation, whether it's all the other things happening in the news, Syria. Let's just offer all that is going on in words that hopefully are accessible. We say the Lord's Prayer. It's a prayer that Jesus uses it's attributed to Jesus in Matthew's Gospel. If you read on later on, from a reading we had tonight, and it's one of those prayers that you kind of pray when you don't know what to pray. And so, again, trying to write versions of things like that in ways that are accessible or have perhaps slightly more, hopefully, metal Gothic-esque relevant words and terminology. So anyway, invite us to share together, offering all that bothers us, all that's going on in the world, all that's going on in our own lives, to what I would describe God as the universal force of love and relationship, the all-parent. So a bit like if you watch Vikings, Floki's always talking about the all-father. Well, the all-parent, because I suspect God's kind of beyond gender.
To the one in whom all people and all creation have their being, may your kingdom come, your will be done, as above, so below. Sustain us for this day. Show us grace as we seek to show grace to those we feel have wronged us. Save us from the worst that is within us and within this world. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. May the peace of the All-Parent be ours this night, and with all people and all creation, in the time that is to come.
And just very briefly, some notices, just in case Angela happens to be around. No, I'm still waffling, Rachel, still waffling. So yes, notices. So this Saturday at St Paul's, Norton Lees, Sheffield, we have the longest night, a chance to sing some rocked up carols, and to explore, all the good stuff around Christmas, but also acknowledge there's some lots of good stuff around Christmas as well, in terms of the pressure to feel we've got to buy stuff, but actually not having the resources to do that, particularly during this cost of living crisis. Is it a crisis, or is it just the cost of living? What does this good news that Matthew talked about, and how it, Jesus is God's anointed one, how does that actually impact as genuine good news today, with all that we face, those we know face, our communities face, God's world faces. So that's this Saturday at St Paul's, Norton Lees. The information is on the Metal Methodist Facebook page. Be good to see you there if you are in the Sheffield area. Bother, there was another notice before that. I don't know what it was. So there we are. There we go. Yes. So Rachel's doing slides. I still need to make a video, but it will be fine. We'll be fine by the time we practice on Thursday. If you are not a church person, faith person, or somebody who's they're into music, or just want to be able to access something in a different way, that's just you haven't got to put on certain clothes, you haven't got to behave in a certain way, just a place to come and hopefully feel accepted, then please feel you can feel welcomed, and that's something you can come to. And if you come because you see this, just let one of us know. Just be cool. And if you're nervous about going, drop us a line, either a message on Facebook Messenger, email cakemethodist@outlook.com, or email me, Rev James Morley @outlook.com, and we can kind of sort of help you to make that turning up feel less perhaps angst-ridden as it does. I'm saying this as somebody who keeps kind of going, ooh, shall I email them about rocking up to play Dungeons and Dragons the first time in 30 years somewhere in Sheffield? It sounds like an email and say, oh, I've not been before. But I'm still kind of going, oh, maybe I won't. Oh dear. So I get it. And so if we can help in any way. And the other bit is, come on, James. What was it, James? I don't know. James, you're rubbish. I know, Hild. I know. She's here, keeping a watchful eye. I know. It's useless. I can't remember anything. I know your name's Hild. It is. What was it? Oh, yes. Yeah. So I also wanged on about last time, the fact that it started with a rhythm and a chance to connect together with, exploring a sense of spirituality, faith, something beyond us, an openness to that, but also within the context of alternative goth rock music subcultures, possibly also then people who might not find that what quite often the church presents as the proper way of doing things, about being sort of very quiet and reflective and all those things, struggle with that. A place where actually it's all right, you just come and be you, it's all cool. And as part of that, really good, because it started as a way to connect each day. That's kind of slipped a bit, just because of, as I've described, being a minister with all the things going on. I'm wanting to develop stuff as well, and support the people doing events and stuff. Come with a cunning plan of producing like a pre-record video, and that can go out morning and evening. It's like a great idea, and I sat down to put together the morning video, going, because we've done it elsewhere in mornings, we've been to places and done it in person as well as streaming it. And going, no, actually, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because there's content what I have not got. So I'd be busy trying to finish that and write that extra bit of content. So haven't forgotten. Sorry, Phil. Over promising, over suggesting, and absolutely under delivering. But that is getting there. But a chance would to be that there is something set to go morning and evening, and myself, Kate, other people can be around in the comments and the chats, just sharing together to think ahead of the day, to think about, well, where are those moments of hope and joy and life, where are those moments that actually there's a chance to what I'll describe as be Jesus with somebody else, in terms of how we seek to respond, listen, love, care, but also where there's moments where actually we just might encounter that love, that care in a surprising way from a surprising person in a place we didn't expect, and then to share that in the evening, maybe as a choose and tag, something we're thankful for. So it is coming, particularly those who watch on YouTube. It will absolutely be there. You haven't missed anything yet. I being a bear of very little brain, but it was way easier than I first thought. The more I got into the detail of it, the more I disappeared into the detail of it, going, it's now massive. So apologies. So the notice was, I'm sorry. Basically, that is the notice. I'm sorry. But if you're around on Saturday, Norton Lees, it'd be great to see you, and do get in touch if we can assist you in it feeling all right to come. And that applies not just to Norton Lees, but also on the 18th of January at St. Paul's in Johnfield. in February. I promise we won't go to somewhere called St. Paul's. Again, it's open to anybody. If, my sense is the people who have come, the in-person bit, yes, many are either people who have been to a church service previously or go to a church service, but perhaps, this is a place where they are potentially have invited other people because it's a space where they can be more fully themselves. And that's not meant as a criticism of other expressions of church or things, just part of a desire to offer something that reflects the diversity of what I believe is God's amazing creation and the amazing myriad members of the human race who each in their own way exhibit and carry and share something of that divine. And if you put us all together, then maybe we get closer to what this universal force of love is. But seeing that glimpse of that within each other and celebrating who we are, because that's who and how we're made to be. That's what it's about. And if you want to join in with that, and or to come and assist you in doing an event where you are, the reason for having that funding and increasing capacity that we've done, and the reason for flogging shirts and trying to become self-sustaining is so we can carry on doing more of that. So thank you. That's been a public service announcement. You've been bored. I've been James. And blisters and others. Shall we sway? Sway with me, Metal Compline. Sway with me, Metal Compline. I've done it again. I've got a new button for ending things, and it's right at the top. And I've pressed the button at the end for ending, for playing it. And man. Okay. Sway with Metal Compline. Sway with me, Metal Compline.